Hello, everybody. Welcome to Disabilities Redefined with Dr. Wagner. We are here with three very special young men who have a lot in common, but who are quite funny. Yes, they're all comedians. We have Terry K from Canada, regularly at the Yuck Yuck Club, and also had a surprise visit at a KO comedy in Los Angeles not that long ago. Ethan Andre, how you doing, Ethan?
Pretty bad, but I'm happy to be here.
You can catch Ethan at the East Boston comedy, routine show podcast, Ethan?
Just East Boston Comedy, it's a show.
The show, okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. And then Joe, we just saw each other. Joe recently has been on my show, and a lot of great things are going on in his career, but we decided he was going to do me a favor. Joe Underwood recently appeared on Disabilities Redefined with me. So that is his, that is his intro.
That was my defining moment.
Well, you are, let's hope then you're still a work in progress. Okay, guys, listen, a lot going on now in show business in Hollywood, and particularly when it comes to diversity. We all know you're comedians. We all know you're quite young, very charming people, for those of you who have seen you on YouTube or various other specials you've been on. But what exactly are you trying to say with your online presence and your comedy routine?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I didn't start out comedy with really any intention of saying anything, but I kind of realized that my shtick is talking about how able-bodied people can kind of be ignorant to us at times and sort of like not realize that they can treat us pretty much the same as any other person. So they tend to do pretty, I guess, ignorant things. So my comedy is all about, hey, treat us like normal people.
To answer that question, I think part of it is the biggest thing, the only thing I really, really care about is getting a laugh. I just want to be funny. It's what matters to me. But I guess to like generalize, maybe to give a little bit of a window of what it is like for me to experience the world, having a different body and functionality, right? And like Joe's saying, there's a lot of moments in which the world's not created for me in a chair, right? So it's interesting when those two worlds kind of collide, and someone who is like unsure and wants to do the right thing and the intent's all there, but they end up doing the absolute dumbest thing, So it's really fun to highlight those dummies, and make fun of them in a way. But hopefully that also does give some sense and some insight to those who are listening, and not only do they laugh, but they get a little bit of an understanding of what it's like in my perspective.
Well said. My biggest thing is awareness, is just to spread awareness. And the best way is to do it through laughs. So they don't get insulted that we're telling them, hey, you're being stupid right now. You don't understand how, insulting it is. So basically awareness is my biggest thing. And it all started when I was on the board of directors for the MS Society. I wasn't getting enough from them. So I was trying to spread awareness, and I realized this is the best way. This is the best way to get the audience and spread awareness through comedy.
Wow. Nice. See, excellent points. Very good points, guys. So just to piggyback on that then, so what would be, and I understand you all are very smart, very educated. Some of you come from various backgrounds. No, Ethan, no, you're shaking your head there.
I'm not smart, no.
I find that hard to believe. Anyway, you all come from various backgrounds, but at the time, comedy is a part of your life. And what would you, what's going to be the ultimate career achievement as far as making it in the world of comedy?
Geez, I think a lot of, I really don't want to say anything because I'm pretty sure making, any income or like any sustainable career from comedy is like a dream for many people, including myself, but also I don't know. I don't know if I want that to be my main drink. So, but I really, I mean, if given the opportunity, which I believe is part of it, you have to be lucky, not only lucky, but talented as well. So I really think that comedy just fits my itch for wanting to make people laugh. And I think it's a really good opportunity for me to control a lot of narrative, right? And I get to choose the stories, right? Whereas I can't talk about all these things in the line at Starbucks, you know? So I think it's really healthy for me to have some place to express myself, and on stage in front of people is the way to do it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think he answered that really well. I'll kind of reiterate a little bit of what I said in my solo episode. I mean, obviously, most comedians are going to want the Netflix special. Like that would be awesome. Like nobody's going to doubt that. But I think that in order to be more realistic, I think that the goal right now is just to continue spreading awareness, continue making people laugh, and continue getting the DMs on Instagram telling me how much they enjoy my content and look up to me and stuff like that. Yeah, I think continuing to do that and continuing to slowly grow and get better, that's all I could ask for.
The bigger audience you have, the more awareness you can spread, right? And every time you get feedback, great. It helps me more than I help people, believe it or not. So great. And that's what I achieve for.
Yeah, you know, I'm going to throw in an extra question. I said I wasn't going to do it before we started filming, but I'm going to throw in an extra question. And again, very quickly, because as you all know, we're on a time frame here. But how is comedy personal to you? 3.
My comedy, sorry.
No, go here, go.
It's more of venting about the issues that I see. And I make it into a comedy routine. I'm sure you guys do the same thing so that it's not insulting to people. They see the comedy in it. So yeah, it's kind of personal. I would say it's stories of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I mean, obviously we're all talking about how one aspect of our, one main goal of our comedy is awareness, right? So that's kind of for other people, but I think that deep down for all of us, that kind of comes from, from personal reasons, right? We want people to be aware so that they stop treating us different or they start treating us better. We feel more included. We feel more one. So yeah, I would say it's personal for me, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, right along. I guess I would definitely say when it's super personal to me, because I feel like this is an area which I could be better at than Joe, because Joe kicks my ass at every other area. That's the personal drive for me.
All right, we can go with that one then. We'll go with that.
Yeah, in your face, Joe.
Okay.
He will roundhouse kick you, man. Watch out.
Yeah, you better watch out, bro. This is why I invited Ethan onto this show. It's a competition for us.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Now, I'm glad we're over Zoom then. Okay. Well, okay. So what's going on now? Listen, Hollywood is still very much Hollywood. Okay. Joe, you said it yourself. We all want that Netflix special. We all want, there's something about Hollywood and the film business that is still very much there and still very special. Okay. Where do we see that right now? Where do we see disability representation in media and in films and TV?
I think that I do seem to notice that there's a lot of visible disabilities represent more so than 10 years ago or so. You get that with Speechless. You get that with more, there's definitely a lot more, I see a lot more representation in commercials and whatnot, which could be problematic in other ways. I see an increase in it. However, I think a lot of it is, I don't know if the intersectionality is there. Like there's a lot of white men in chairs that I see, which is fine for me in terms of definitely myself being represented, but there's a lot more that goes into diversity, just besides being in a chair. But
yes. Excellent, good point. Excellent point.
Yeah, but I want to be one of those white dudes in a chair on TV though.
Terry?
Yeah. Are they really in a chair? Or are they just hiring actors, putting them in chairs? I'll tell you when I get hired.
Okay, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, I think Ethan said it pretty well. There is definitely an increase. Like nobody can doubt that. There's definitely an increase. People are starting to realize that we need to be more inclusive across the board, which is awesome. But I do think that we need to make sure that we're careful about being deliberate about the roles that disabled people have, making sure they're actually true to reality. And then again, like Ethan said, that's a good point that I hadn't thought of, is like not just having straight white men who sit down a lot in our TV shows, you know, trying to mix up the diversity a bit more than that. So, yeah.
We could sit down so much better than all those people.
I was waiting for one of you to jump in on that one. Okay. Okay, guys, but all right. Having said that, Hollywood just announced, the Academy just announced that there will now be standards to run for Best Picture. Any thoughts on you? The floor is yours now. I want to hear what you've got to say.
Obviously, it's in the right direction. Any move is a good move, right? Again, it's too much to talk about. Are we hired just for the fact of filling in positions? You know what I mean? Because now they need to fill in, you know, they need a certain number of disability, a certain number of, you know, certain racial aspects. So are they just filling in positions? I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. But there's a few things I want to talk about with that. You know how there's certain movies, I'm a little older than you guys, but there's a movie, What's Eating Gilbert Grape? Do you know that movie? Leonardo DiCaprio plays someone who has an illness. Do they ever have someone with an illness playing a regular person? Just curious. Do they ever someone with an illness playing someone regular and saying, hey, that's not how you do it. You got to act like this. This is how normal people act like. Because that's what they did to Leonardo, right? Like, no, you got to act here, watch a video of someone who has that illness. Be more like him. Do they do that with handicap? This guy's normal. Look at him. Yeah, walk like him. Try to walk like him. Oh, cut. Let's do that again. You know.
Yeah, good point.
And that's when they start pushing changes, you know, because anyway.
No,
but it's good. Any move is good move. Who's going to criticize that?
That's a very good point, and therein lies the definition of minority.
Yeah.
Okay. Therein lies that is how minority will be defined, and how the majority is also defined. Okay.
I guess the first, like, obviously, like he said, every move is a move in the right direction. To be very, very nitpicky, I do understand why disability was listed in the behind the scenes roles, and I believe it wasn't in the main roles, if I heard you correctly.
Well, no, in the ensemble, if I'm understanding it correctly, and I'm reading it here from the press that was released, in the ensemble cast, 30% has to be within that 30%, disability representation has to be there.
Gotcha. Okay, I misheard you.
In the ensemble cast, not in the principal cast. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I understand it's a little bit easier to cast a disabled person as a secondary role than it is to have a disabled person be a main role in probably most films, just because that disability is going to be like everybody's looking at that. So, if it's like a superhero movie, like Captain America in a wheelchair would be a big difference for a lot of people. So I understand it. But again, that is like something that's interesting to think about, is like, at what point are we going to push to have more main characters be disabled, you know.
Joe's pushing for that Captain America role, huh?
Yeah.
I knew he's gonna say that.
I think, I don't know what it's gonna look like. It seems just like it's fulfilling what the large scheme of the US like is pushing in terms of trying to be more I guess be more inclusive, but I don't know how that looks, right? And I don't know if it's going to be done right, you know, and so therefore, yeah, it's yet to be seen for me. I think it's really great. I think, like you were saying before, just all the jobs in Hollywood, there's so many besides just the ones on screen. There needs to be representation there. And I think if there is representation behind the film and behind what's on screen, then you're going to get more accurate storytelling. You're going to get more, more, I think, just a better idea of what's appropriate or what's going to come across better and what's going to be more authentic in a way. If you have more people representing different communities on the team making a movie or a show or whatever, like that's going to be a big difference.
Yes.
We have a long way still.
Yeah.
No matter what, we still have a long way. Yeah, they're making moves, but they have to treat the disabled. They got to normalize the disabled before we put them in the movies. So they got to treat us a certain way before they can say, hey, we're gonna, you know, because there's still awkward moments when someone sees me in a chair. So, you know, sometimes I don't get eye contact. I don't know why. Maybe they're scared to look in my eyes. Sometimes they look past me. It's kind of weird. So if they want to normalize the disabled community, they got to do it off the movie set or off Hollywood and then bring us into Hollywood, whatever. But there's still a long ways before we move forward, to be honest with you.
Guys, it has been very nice having all of you here. Ethan, you're new. I'm going to give you the last word, buddy. Send us on off.
Yeah, okay, everybody.
Awesome.
Get some good rest. Sleep's important. But also just don't be shitty people, you know? Don't be assholes.
Okay. I hope that we can put that on my show. I don't know. But it will not be edited out, okay?
And I'm better than Joe.
But I'm better than Terry.
I'm cool. You can take it.